Hello, good morning or good afternoon if you are watching from the other side of the world. Hope you are fine. And welcome again to the Ask Me Anything lives I do every Tuesday at 11 CET. And you are most welcome to jump in and interact with me. It will be much more fun and send your questions. Just ask during the lives, whatever interests you, whatever you need to know about intercultural relationship and life abroad. I am here for you. And if you don't know me, I'm Zuzana Mukumai-Filipova, and I help women who are in intercultural relationships. So let's dive into it. And today I want to talk about self-confidence. It's for two reasons. First, I receive a question, how to be confident enough in a relationship to ask for what we really want. And the second reason why I want to talk about confidence is because I believe that self-confidence is a cornerstone of any relationship. If we want to have the best, most loving and joyful relationship, we need to be self-confident. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to know our worth. So let me start with two personal stories about my own journey to self-confidence. And the first one is, let me just tell it to you as it was. So imagine I am standing in the middle of a remote Zambian village, like in front of me, there is a church which is constructed it has the mud walls. The roof is thatched roof. On the right side, there is a huge cashew nut tree. And behind me are the small rounded houses where the people in the village live. And everywhere around the sun, I'm standing on the sun. It's West Zambia, so the suns from Kalahari deserts are already there. So I'm standing there, and in front of me is the team from the company I used to work for, from internal communication team, and I'm about to talk about the project I have been leading there. I was just supposed to say a few sentences, except that I could not say a word. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. I could not literally say a thing in front of the camera, in front of my colleagues who were like waiting for me to start speaking. My boss actually had to do the speaking instead of me. Then the second story I wanted to share is back then in the beginning of our relationship with my husband. He, apart of other things, he's a dancer, choreographer, and he and his teams were invited for TV to do some live performance. So I was accompanying them, and I was just ready to sit in the background. And before the show started, he said, "Oh, by the way, they might take you on as well." And I was like, "Oh my God, no, that can't happen. I can't go on TV." And I just spent the rest of the show hiding in the shadows, like on the backstage, praying secretly that nobody is remembering that I am there, and nobody takes me on the stage while all the cameras are rolling and the TV is broadcasting live. And why I remember this is because we had also big argument about this. We didn't, my partner, he couldn't understand why I'm freaking out just because of being on TV. And hello, I see you are joining, so I will repeat as well. Anytime you have any questions, just jump in, and I'm saying hello to everybody who is watching. So these two examples from my own life shows that how I was terrified of talking in front of the camera, in front of the people. And I still remember how at high school, my English teacher told me, "Zuzana, you will never speak English." So if she's watching, I would kind of want her to learn that I managed to speak English. And I also remember a second occasion when I was studying in Sweden for my exchange program, in front of all the students, I promised to my teacher in a course which was about filming that I will never touch camera again, because that's how terrible I was at the time. And that brings me to what I want to say is that I, in my journey in Africa, like it has been 12 years, I have been basically living and working in Africa. It taught me a great deal about self-confidence. And that's where I started learning, because I always admired how my colleagues in Uganda, then in Zambia, then in Tanzania, they could just go on the stage and start talking, and they seemed they could go forever, and me it was just bubbling something, like trying to say, being super nervous, sweating, and thinking I make no sense. And I got inspired, like how people here, especially in Zambia, they are confident, and it's so inspiring how we can learn. And last week I had an interview with Teresa, who is also from Czech Republic, and she has a partner from Ghana, and she had exactly the same experience when she went to visit his family in Ghana, saying she got so inspired how people in Ghana were confident in life. And if you didn't watch the interview yet, it's on my YouTube channel, Zuzana Mukumai, so you can check it out. It's really interesting. So that brings me like the self-confidence. It's something we can learn. And if I could do it, because now you see my being terrified, being not able to say anything in front of the camera. Now I am here talking to you. It doesn't mean that I'm not nervous or I am completely comfortable with it, but I still do it and I still speak. So these were the two examples I wanted to bring up to show that how self-confidence is important in our life, and especially in the relationship. So when we are self-confident, we will manage our arguments better. We will know that we are worth being, we have our own self-worth, and we are confident that if we have any challenge, we are going to figure it out. If we had argued with our partner, we are going to figure it out. We believe in our own power to figure things out. It's not about being always like super happy, super positive, but it's about, hello, who is joining? So happy to have you here. It's about to trust yourself and be confident in the relationship. And it's, I think, lots of conflicts in a relationship, they come from the lack of self-confidence, the notion that we are not good enough, that we are not good with a relationship, we are not good with men, we are not good in life. And it really reflects on the arguments we have. So for example, if we have an argument about some simple thing, be it TV being on or one of the partners coming late home, often it's not about that thing, but it's about things which has to do with our self-confidence. Maybe we are scared that we are not given enough attention, or maybe we are scared that our partner is not coming home because we are not good enough to be his girlfriend or wife, and he might find somebody better. So once we have this notion of self-worth and self-confidence, we will start approach things differently. We will start to approach them from different place, and you will see how your reaction will be different. So for example, in the past, you would have an argument and you would not talk to your partner for hours or days, and you would think that this relationship is over, that it doesn't make any sense to be in the relationship. Yet if you have built your self-confidence, you know that this will pass. Conflicts are normal. Like if somebody says they are in a relationship and they have no conflicts, I think probably that's not true, or they are really exaggerating, because I don't know any functional, even functional relationship which doesn't have the arguments. It's normal. We are going to have arguments. So let's just accept it and deal with it in a confident way. So I was giving the example in the past, if you don't have a self-confidence, you will think it's the end of the world, it's the end of the relationship. Yet if you have the confidence, you will know that you will figure it out. Maybe you don't speak for a few hours, then you have a heated exchange, you feel like you want to throw a plate at your partner, but you know it's not the end of the relationship, it's just communication, and you will figure it out. So I have few tips how to grow your self-confidence, because as I said, like, it's really important for us to have healthy relationship. We need to first build our self-confidence. And maybe before I go to the tips, I just want to share this kind of metaphor, because I think it's really helpful. Why we should focus on ourselves first before we focus on building our relationship. So imagine you have this dream house, and it looks just like you want it. Like, it has the beautiful windows, it has so many rooms, it's overlooking beautiful lake or maybe a skyline if you prefer. And it's just perfect. The furniture is exactly what you wanted. The decoration, it's wonderful. It's your dream house. Yet there is a small problem. The house is just next to the railway, and there are noisy trains passing every half an hour. Or maybe it's on the land which gets flooded every year. Or maybe the land is not even yours. So where I am going is, if we want to build our dream house, we need to have the foundation. We have to have very good place where the house is standing. The same with relationship. If we want to build the most loving and fulfilling relationship, we need to make sure that the foundation, which is us, is strong, and we can stand that we build this amazing relationship. So my number one tip is just keep practicing. If you want to say something, if you want to do something and you are not confident enough, experience the fear, but don't let the fear to win you over. Experience it, but then said, okay, thank you, I'm scared, but I'm doing it anyway. So if it's, for example, I want to ask my partner to do something for me, but I'm really scared how he will react. So let's think like how you can say it in a good way, and then go for it. Ask it, practice. Sometimes you will get the confidence, you will do it. Sometimes not. That's fine. It's a progress. So you will build your confidence by practicing. The same with me, as I was giving the example in the beginning of me being terrified speaking in front of the camera. I start doing it. I start looking for occasions when I speak, and I start doing it. And it won't be never perfect. Like, we are always humans, like we are not machines, but I keep doing it, and I become more and more comfortable. The same it will be with you asking for what you want in your relationship, being the confident to ask for what you need. So keep practicing. Then the other thing which helps me is to think of what could be the worst case scenario if I do the thing I am not confident of doing. What can be the worst thing? So you can just really imagine, like, what would happen. And in the case of public speaking, the worst case scenario would be that I completely forget what I would speak about. I would just stand there blank in front of people and then just run off the stage. In the case of relationship, it can be that you really want ask your partner for going out with you to the gym. So the worst things, he tells you that the gyms are terrible and he will never go with you, and you will have this big argument because you feel that he doesn't want to spend any free time. But in both of the cases, it will be unpleasant. It won't be nice. Maybe it will be embarrassing, but you will still go through it. You will still survive it. If you run off the stage after not being able to say a word, or if you have an argument, you will still survive it. It's nothing which you cannot deal with, because remember, you are strong and you can do whatever you want. And in most of the cases, people won't even notice that you don't have the confidence. Just go and do it. And we are the worst critics of ourselves. Like, the way we judge ourselves, the way we talk about to ourselves in our own head, it's very brutal. And if we were to speak like that to other people, we would be like, oh, like, stop speaking like this, right? So most of the time people won't even notice. Like, in case like the public speaking is a perfect example. Like, you make some mistake, you forget to say something, and then you are like, oh my god, why I didn't say that, like I could have said better, then I mixed up some words, I couldn't remember how to say something in English. But let me assure you, most of the people will never notice. So that's the same even with the relationship. If you are not confident and you are still going for what you go, like maybe your partner won't even notice that it was so big deal for you, and he will you will give him your request and he will be like, oh, I didn't think of that, maybe I can do that, right? So it's just don't worry so much about what other people think, just go for it. And we are really self-centered, all of us, like it's normal, and we think everybody will see the slightest mistake, but in most of the cases people don't see our mistakes, and maybe they are not even mistakes, it's just our voice in our head is telling us that it's terrible and that it was a terrible mistake, but in the eyes of other people it's no big deal. And the last thing I wanted to share is, if you don't try, if you don't overcome the resistance to do what you want, if you don't get the confidence, you can be sure of one thing, and that is you will remain where you are. And we are talking about confidence here because we want something we don't have. We want to go out of our comfort zones, to go after our goal of having the best relationship. We want to have the goal of better job. We want to have better life. And if we don't go for it, we are sure of staying where we are. If we go for it, it might work. In that case, we are next step to our dream. It works. If it doesn't work, at least we try and we know that we can move in some direction, right? But if we don't try, we stay stuck in the same place. So that was the last thing I wanted to say today, talking of confidence. We all have it inside, like we can be all confident, because remember when we were babies, we were 100% confident, we were doing whatever and we could do, we even learned how to walk. You know how hard it was to learn walking? So we have it in ourselves. And let's remember, if we want to have a strong and fulfilling relationship, we need to work on our self-confidence, because that's the foundation for the relationship. So remember, practice, think of what can be the worst case scenario, and that most likely it will not hurt you that much as you think. Most of the people won't even notice, and if you don't try, you will just stay where you are. So that is all from me today. I'm so excited that you were here. As always, if you have some other question, you can still write it in the comments, or you can send me a direct message and I can answer next time. So I will see you again next Tuesday at 11 CET. So have a wonderful Tuesday, and I love you all.